Welcome to the Planet Paintball Podcast, the ultimate podcast for paintball enthusiasts. Each week, we dive into the world of paintball, bringing you stories, insights, and tips from players, coaches, and industry insiders. Sponsored by 1023 Sportswear. Looking for high-quality gear that performs as hard as you do? Check out 1023 Sportswear. And as a listener of the Planet Paintball Podcast, you can get 20% off your order with the code PLANETPaintball. Suit up, save big, and play your best.
All right, welcome back to the Planet Paintball Podcast. Today with me, I have John Ledford, aka Shaggy, from the ODBs, who just won D4 at the NXL season opener. Welcome to the show, John.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So, how long have you guys been a team?
2 years.
Okay.
We played D5 last year. We started last year in D5. We started the series. Never could get that win, though. I mean, there's a lot of strong teams in the D5 division.
Yeah.
A lot of young people. ODB, our average age was 38. So we had a bunch of old men out there trying to play with a bunch of young kids. We did good. Like I said, we didn't win, no, but we done good. We went down the cup, played 5-man cup, and come in 13th in World Cup.
That's a pretty respectable showing out of like 60 some odd teams, right?
That's the best I've ever done at World Cup. In all the years I've played, that's the best I've ever done. I was ecstatic with that.
And then were there any major changes to the team in the off season?
Yeah, there's a huge change. We only had 3 players from the original team. One of our core guys, he got hurt and decided he wasn't going to play no more. We weeded out 3 or 4 more toward the end of the season. Then some of them just couldn't because of work and stuff like that. So I pretty much had to rebuild the whole team this year. Me, Evan, Clayton, and Joel Smith is the only original ODB guys from last year. The rest of the guys are new. Yeah.
So how'd you, so essentially a rebuilt team, go out and win the first one. Congratulations on that. That's a feat in any division, with maybe the exception of D5, right? Because a lot of those guys that's their first years. But what did you guys do to find new players? Did you hold tryouts? Did you just start reaching out to guys you knew?
I reached out to a couple guys that I knew. I met Paul, I can't think of his last name. He played 10-man with BR at World Cup. And I met him down there because I coached the 10-man team. And fell in love with the kids' play, and, I just had his dad and said, hey, if Young's going to play for Bayer Ridge next year, I want him on my team. On the regional line, I want him on my team, and we had the agreement. He held up to it, and I told him, I said, hey, Paul's D3. I said, I need one more D3 guy. Who you suggest? He said, CP. He didn't suggest nobody else but CP. I said, well, bring him on. I just took his word for it, and his word's pretty good. That kid, both of them kids together are beasts. And then I had, Brett Gibson. I've been him come play with us for several years. Since I first met him at the first season of NGXL. Begged him, and finally he come on board. Justin Hensley, he's a good buddy of mine. We played together back when I took 11 year break. And when Josh and Travis Boyd got us all back together and formed a team, and Justin was on that team.
Okay.
But Justin went to Knoxville Energize, and he messaged me earlier and says, hey, man, I want to play this next season with you. I said, well, come on board. So that was – then Josh held a tryout for his D4 team.
Okay.
We was a D5 team, and now we're D4. So his D4 team, BR Factory D4, had a tryout, and I just happened to go to it.
Just pick a couple guys.
Yeah. And I done it respectful. I went up to him and told Josh and him, Josh French. I told him, I said, hey, man, I'm here to get players too. I said, but I'm not going to get nobody that you want. I said, at the end of the day, you tell me who you want, and I'll take what's left. Okay. And that's where I got Ryan Gravitt. Then count one more. Brent, I can't think his last name. Downey. I think his last name's Downey. Terrible with names. And that's who I got. That was the 9, but I wanted 10. Kevin, I still can't say his last name. Starts with an A. Aguilera, I think. I'd mentioned to it a cup for him to play with us too. Well, I forgot his last name, but I saved that spot for him. And he contacted me and said, "Hey, are we still playing?" I said, "I got my 10 set." And that's how it went around rebuilding the team.
Okay.
I'd done it with youth in mind around us old guys. And then Blaine from the DC semi-pro team, Blaine, can't say his last name. He's got a last name 4 miles long. But he was last year, and I dropped the ball on talking to him about coaching this one. And he went up and he took the coach's job for the North Georgia Quake.
Okay.
So I said, I'm like, who do I get? Who do I get? Who do I get? And so I messaged Josh. I said, hey, I need a coach, dude. I don't believe in player coaches. I said, I need a coach. And he said, well, you got Wes, Arnie, Odie, Tad, Parker. And I said, well, if I had my choice, it'd be Wes or Ronnie. And he said, well, Wes then has a team. I said, well, that's fate because Ronnie is my favorite player on Bar Ridge other than Blaine. I said, well, that just works out good. So I messaged Ronnie, and he said, yeah, he'd love to. And he literally met half the team that morning.
Okay.
Yeah. He know me and Evan, CP, and Paul. I believe that's it. And he come in, they had bad storms during layout practice, and he couldn't make it. He come in and he said, hey guys, I'm Ronnie. Said, hope I do good today. And he done an amazing job. I mean, I can't complain about how he done. He never, even we lost our second match, and like it never even faced him. He's like, guys, here's what we got to do now. And he coached us into that win. It wasn't nothing short of a miracle in my opinion.
Cool. That's a tall order to come in not knowing the guys and coaching you to it. So did you kind of tell him like the starting five, or how did he figure it out?
No, and me and him had talked, all week. I told him, every person on this team, when we went to layout practice, I could not find 5 people that just exceptionally played well together. Ever played good together. Didn't matter what we done, and I would throw people. I mean, I just mixed it look like mashed taters, and they was working with each other, and I told Ronnie, I said, I don't know what to do because that's my job, because I know that I pick, 2 5-man teams. So I said, why don't I just come up with plays and just put the people in the plays? And Ronnie liked that idea. The first 2 matches, that's what we did. We've done plays instead of set lines.
Okay.
And he was able to sort everything out in them first 2 matches.
Nice. Yeah, I kind of feel like sometimes making the plays and picking the players for those plays is easier. Kind of stinks if your play isn't called upon, but it also means the team's doing well. So
yeah, that's one thing me and Ronnie talked about throughout the day. He's like, hey, I know I'm not playing some of these guys over here as much as I am these guys. I'm like, dude, whatever you're doing is working. I mean, we went from, the 3rd place team in the series last year to, winning it this year, winning the first event this year.
Yeah. And it's a pretty big step up from D5 to 4.
Yeah. Especially in NGXL. It's a tough division. I mean, it's a series period, but just because, we're drawing the Carolina teams, and we drew Carolina Ice and they took us 2-1. I mean, it was a fight. I mean, it's not like we just went in the quarters and just rolled through everybody. I mean, it was a battle against Carolina Ice. Probably, I ain't gonna say the best team we played, but that was probably the hardest team we played.
Okay.
Carolina. I mean, it was tough.
Yeah, they're a good squad for sure.
It was tough last year.
Yeah. I know a lot of those guys. I know Josh did one with Josh. I know most of the guys on that line. I know Will, who I think played for him this year. He coached for him last year. So, and then they got a couple other former relapse guys. Well, I think one other former relapse guy on there. So, familiar for sure. They're a good squad.
Yeah.
Not to be taken lightly. So you talked about them. Any other kind of problems or challenges in the prelims?
In the prelims, Postals, they spanked us like yesterday's business. I mean, it wasn't an embarrassing loss. I mean, Postal's good. I mean, they finished 3rd, Postal did, but we just couldn't do nothing with them. I mean, we couldn't figure them out. They done the same, all 4 points, and we couldn't get through it, you know.
Just
And,
couldn't break it.
yeah, I couldn't break it. And I'm like, my goodness, I'm like, it's paintball. We should be able to do this, you know. But they'd pick us off one by one. And, you know, reminded me of, like, back in the day, you know, when I first came into the business in paintball, it reminded me of them old men that shot the auto mags and the pump talons and stuff like that. And if you stuck your head out there, it wouldn't ball you. That's what it reminded me so much of that. And it's frustrating because you're like, well, we beat these guys, you know. They're shooting, you know, auto mags and we're shooting angels and they're picking us. You know, that's what it felt like to me, you know. Also was tough.
So did you end up seeing them again in the road? No? Okay.
No, we got lucky.
Because they got third, right?
They got third.
Yeah.
They do 75, I-75.
Okay.
Great. I mean, I like all my 75. We got lucky and they drew I-70. Who did we play? That one we played Carolina Ice.
They did make it on. I can't remember. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, I don't have enough service here. Plus,
that's the Barbie's roster. Scores. Quarterfinals. Yeah, Carolina Ice.
Yeah. That's. I'm not going to say, was that the one of them we won on a swing point. It come down to, we had decided to hold them and go into overtime. They decided to win the point, and their snake player come around and CP shot him before he shot our snake guy, and he still went up and shot our snake guy. So we got, that's how we point.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I was against Carolina Ice or not. I think that was in the quarters.
Okay.
I think Carolina Ice was just a tough game. Not positive.
Yeah, it's 3-2 score, so
yeah,
looks like it went back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, it was tough. I think I only played I played 1, maybe 2 points of that.
Okay.
And I think I played the first and the third point. And after that, I looked down and said, look, you know, put the young kids in, let them do their, you know, I had borrowed a gun. CP was using my gun when I played against them. So I just grabbed a buddy's gun and said, here, I'm going to use your gun. CP's using mine. I went out there. I hadn't broke a ball all day. I went out there and I shot later. Hit me. And I was supposed to hold the Dorito side and, you know, I couldn't do nothing. And it was just heartbreaking. And we lost that point. And that's why, we lost that point. I came in and looked at him and said, look, it's not meant for me to be out there. Here you go.
Okay. Well, that's an experience, right? That kind of know when you're hot and when you're not. And when it's time to take a sit and, you know, do something else for the team, that's what you got to do.
That's it. Low pods.
So from there, you went on to face UPG Convicts.
Yes. We
other semi-tight game, 2-1.
Yeah. We pitted with them all day.
Okay.
Yeah, so our team and their team couldn't scout nobody throughout the day because one of them started behind. So we had to play everybody in the blind. We didn't know what we were doing, but everybody knew what our two teams was doing. And, you know, that was tough. And them boys right there was impressive all day. And that was hard. That was a hard match. I think they actually went up on us 1-0 off the get-go.
Okay.
And, I believe it was CP. Paul got in the snake and crawled all the way down. And when he got all the way down, that allowed the Dorito side to get to the 50 Dorito. He drew all from Paul and CP, and they both got in the snake and went down there and just annihilated the team.
Okay.
We done that 2 points in a row, and that's how we won.
Gotcha.
Then we just went in there and we just held them till time ran out. It's like you only need 1 point to win, you know.
Yeah.
It was,
yep.
It wasn't an easy, you know, victory with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that brings us to the finals, which is against Ive, which I can't remember who owns it right now. Alex, yeah, Alex X, right? He always puts together really good teams.
Always.
But you
know,
they're constantly in the finals.
Yeah.
But you managed to 4-0 them.
Yeah,
so take us through that.
That was a surreal moment. That's when it all hit real to me, is when we made it past WGP, and I haven't won an event since 2008.
Okay.
And, you know, I was like, dang, we have a chance of winning. Never all it, I'm like, man, this is real. Okay. And Daniel or Ron, he looked at me and says, what do you think? I said, play the guys that got us here, dude.
Mm-hmm.
We're going for first and second, dude. I said, I want to win back. And so we put in Ryan, Kevin, Brett, CP, and Paul. Our lanes is what won.
Okay.
We had lanes like crazy. CP was and Brett with Lane Snake Lane, and Kevin maybe 5'5", maybe 5'6". He's not real tall, but he's not short. He found a wicked lane over the Dorito wedge that dropped down into the corner. And he shot the corner out every point. So we was going up, 53, 54, 53 off break against them every point. And
makes it easy.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from that. And then Kevin would get in the 50 Doritos, and it's like the two main guns would like turn over to him, and CP would see the hoppers, and CP would just stand up over the snake wedge and just shoot them in the hopper. And, we done that 4 times in a row. We done the same play 4 times in a row. The only thing is, the last point, I looked at Ronnie and told him, I said, man, I hate to do this. I said, if we go up 3-0, I want to play 1 point. And, I said, I know it's selfish of me. I don't want to change anything, but, I put a lot of thought and hours and into this event, team, season. I said, if it's the only chance I get, I want to take it. He put me in the 4th point and wanted to do, I went out there and got a minor. And which I shot the Dorito corner off break, just like that in the show. And I'm like, where was this, all day? We could use this. And he actually, rewind a second, he actually found that against the Carolina Ice, Kevin.
Okay.
But my play didn't have me shooting that. My play was to go up to the wedge and over to the Dorito 3.
Okay.
That was my, his play was to go straight up into it and shoot that lane. So you do it enough, you're going to find how to shoot.
Yeah.
So I went out and shot my lane and got clipped in the leg. I failed it. I was stupid. I went on up to my bunker and called a paint check. Before he come in from this side to check me, and the referee behind me has called me out. And I'm like, all right. I turn around looking at that big yellow flag. I'm like, oh.
No.
It costed this.
Mm-hmm.
And I get up and I walk and I see the Dorito corner coming up. I see the snake corner come up. I'm like, shoot, 33,
Mm-hmm.
By the time and we had to walk that time. So by the time I got back to the pit, it was 3v1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I say everybody told me it was CP. I didn't see for sure what happened. All I know is when we got back, Bonnie looked at me and says, congratulations. And I went off to myself, reality hit, and I lived in the moment watching the guys celebrate. I just stood over and watched them, and then of course I come back and celebrated with them, but it was a real moment for me. But once you get my age, in this sport, you sit here and you think, do you need to play anymore? Or are you able to play anymore? That showed me that, us old men, we still can win. And I'm not knocking I-75. Alex and I-75, like the swell guys, stand-up guys. I like Kevin Snyder's one of my favorite people that come to the field. And the other long-haired boy, I don't know his name, but I like him. But I'm not going to, I don't ask people their name. I feel, they want to know their name. Hell, everybody knows my name's Shaggy. But them 2 guys they're good guys. And the rest of the team, B-Mac, I like B-Mac. And the boys from the Blazers, they used to play some like them. Much respect to them. It's just that, it's hard to win when you go down 53, 52, or 53. It's hard to win.
Yeah. Especially when it keeps happening to you, kind of gets in your head a little bit. So, well, thanks for taking us through the tournament win. Sounds like you guys had tough matches. Sounds like you guys had tough matches all the way up to the finals.
Yeah. We definitely had the hard bracket. I was worried to death about Afterlife. We went up tying Neil, but that was a must win or must tie game.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. They've been waxing some practice. I mean, I mean, you can ask any of my guys. I mean, Afterlife was who I thought was going to win the event.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had a little bit better day than they did.
Nice. So when did you start playing paintball? Or how did you find paintball, I guess, also?
I found paintball. My cousin Nathan Henderson. We grew up together there for the longest time. If you've seen him, you've seen me. We hunted together, we fished together, we rode bowlers together. Just good old country boys, right? And he came in one day and says, "Look what I got." It's pre-shaggy days. He said, "Look what I got, John." I'm, "Dude, what's that?" He's like, "I said, paintball gun." I said, "Hell, get me one of those." So we ran down to the local Walmart and I bought a Stingray.
Okay.
And I'm like, "Now what do we do with them?" He's like, "We're going to go over here to our friend's house and we're going to play in the woods." That's like hunting men, heck yeah. We're going to hunt guys. Time. Then, we played over our first time or two, 4, 5, 6 times. And he comes back in and says, "Come on, we got something, we're going to go Sunday." I said, "No, church is Sunday." He's like, no, we got to go over here to this place Sunday. So we've been invited. I'm like, all right. So we go over there, and that's where I met Joel Smith, who's on my team.
Okay.
Here I am with a Stingray, and Nathan I think he had an auto mag or auto cocker or something. And we get up there, and they had Angels, shockers, the big 4x4 shockers, souped up auto cockers. I mean, it was just, gosh. And we went and played against them with an auto mag and a Stingray. And I was hooked. First time I played speedball, and I was hooked. I told Nathan, I said, "I'll never play in the woods again." Hey, I said, "This is it for me." And Joel sold me a Spider S Special Edition with an expansion chamber. I tell you how long ago it's been.
I remember those.
Still remember the colors. It was green and black like camo. And I thought I was top notch. I thought I was this. And when Joel told us about a little 3-man tournament that's happening in Cleveland, Tennessee, and they was going to play it. So me and Nathan said, "Hey, we'll play it." So some random guy to play it with us, and we lost every match. But that's how it started for me. And Nathan went on to bigger and better, and I played for a little bit longer. Then I quit. Then I actually wound up going to work for Joel. He owns a construction company here in North Georgia. JS. He needed somebody to want to play high, so I went to work for him. And they looked at him and says, "Why don't you start playing paintball again?" We're all still playing. I'm like, "I don't have a gun." And he's like, "Well, I got your old Angel." I'm like, "All right." So I got it back, and then that's how it started. And I kept playing. They quit.
Of course. Get you hooked and they quit on you.
It was around 2004. The Stingray days was about 99.
Okay.
99, 2000, something like that. I was in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I come back, Nathan said, "Well, I got a bunch of buddies over a local field that want to start playing tournament ball." And I was Richard Hansen, Tony Neve, and Jason Haney. And so we got together and we'd go play tournaments with 4 people, and we just pick up a random person. We wasn't bad, but we wasn't good. We was a 4th place team. It's like every time we just barely out of the podium. And then we was playing out of Paintballs and More in Dalton then. And Chris from Kamikaze opened her field, and we got invited to come up there. And so we went up there and played, picked up another young kid, and that gave us, our 5 people. Well, along come Josh Stanley, and, he wanted to play with us. So I said, "All right, come on." And it just took off there, and that's when we started being good, Me, him, and Woody, Greg Hollander, we went everywhere. Well, I mean, if we heard we was either practicing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or we was playing an event somewhere.
Okay.
If it's just the 3 of us, and we was winning, and then Chris and Herman Schaefer wanted to start an X-ball team. So we just combined the 3 teams we had at the field at the time and played X-ball. Then we done decent with it, and then that fell apart. More along the lines about the time the economy crashed.
Okay.
Then, we all split up, went our separate ways. Life hit, everybody gets married and has kids. And then for the next 11 years, I watched paintball on TV. I watched YouTube. I mean, and took up a wrestling career in 11 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd that all take you?
It took, I was very popular because just like in paintball, I'm an old man that can move.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what everybody is astonished about me, is that I'm an old man that can still get around like a young man. But like I said, like Josh said a couple weeks ago on here, Travis called and said, "Hey, Insane's closing. Let's have one more hurrah." And here we are. 4 years later, having the time of my life. And if this is my last season, I think it's going to be a good one. Not sure if the old man's going to play next year. I know I'm not going to play as much as I'm going to play this year. I'm hoping to get a ring before I quit.
There you go.
That's my goal.
So we're going for the series then.
I'm going to go for the series.
All right.
We're on a good start.
Yeah, you're on a great start. So the NGXL run, is it six events this year or five?
Five.
Five.
I'm pretty sure it's 5.
Okay. So there's no drop score this year, right? Okay.
I don't honestly, I don't know nothing about that.
Okay. Just one event at a time.
I play one event at a time, and Josh tells me how I fish. I'm old, and all I know is, show up and play. Hey, this day by this day, and you play on this day.
Well, that works. So, if this is, or you take a step back, are you thinking about coaching some next year, or not even thinking about it?
I'm not thinking about it right now. That's anybody's dream in every sport, is when you quit either taking up a podcast or a coaching role or referee role, stuff like that. I'm not going to think about it right now. I'll concentrate on playing, practicing. I mean, the semi-pro guys and the D2 guys, they really run a good camp where we're at. So I'm going to try to be the best that I can get and just go from there,
Awesome. So you're running with 10 dudes this year, right?
11. We have 11.
11. Okay.
We're, one of them, David Tan, he played for one of the Carolina teams last year. David Trout,
yeah, the Warriors.
I called him Tan for, but David, he had drills this weekend. He's still in the Navy. Thank you, sir. Big supporter in our military. Actually, 2 or 3 of our guys are former military. That's how we all met.
Nice.
I'm a big veteran militia fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he played for veteran militia. Yeah, he's former military. We have a cop and a firefighter. Yeah. You got 2 construction workers. He had drills this past event. He's getting, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but getting hitched after the next.
I think that's public knowledge.
Okay.
To one of the girls that plays for the Barbies, right?
Yes. I actually had her to. I wanted her to play. That girl is a beast. I mean, she impressed me. I went down. They helped me pit on Saturday, right? Melissa. And I told them, I said, I'm a man of my word. I said, if you help me pit, I'll help you pit. I came down there. I didn't want to get out bad Sunday morning. I did. And I tell you right now, I was probably just as ecstatic about their win that I was mine. It was like watching, I watched them from day one. And it's like when you see a kid hit your first home run, that's what it felt like to me. And I'm like, proud daddy moment here. Hey. But I was watching that Kelsey girl play it. Oh my gosh, she's a beast. Which I mean, all of them play good, but she impressed me.
Yeah, she's pretty good. I think people undermine or not undermine's not the right word, but like the pit crew is definitely part of a team success.
It's 100% part of our success. If you look at it like this, if you lose it in the pits, you're going to lose it on the field. If you come in, and that's one thing I stress to my guys, the pit crew, when you're in the pits, it's quiet. There's no screaming, no hollering. It's silence. Well, it's your coach. First thing we do, come up, coach, and we find our buddy. We do the buddy system. If you play Dorito 1, and you come off the field and you play Dorito 1, you go find your Dorito 1, you tell them what you saw. We do the buddy system. That's all talking there is.
Yeah, that's the way you got to do it. If you're living off emotions in those pits, you're playing a dangerous game for sure.
Yeah. There's no arguing. There's no bragging. I don't even allow bragging in my pits. I'll come in, 5 people, shut up, everybody. I mean, because as soon as that happens, it opens the door for animosity. I think that's the route.
Yeah.
You know, the first time, you come in and brag, as soon as something happens, you come in and you complain. And there's no complaining.
Yeah, there's no room for that, especially if you're going to win.
Yeah. When you get out of the pits, when we get done with our match, you want to come up, tell me I shot 4 people, go for it. Good job. Let's go do it again.
Yep.
Tell me what works and what don't work, and we'll fix everything that don't work.
Yeah, and the pit crew is a big part of keeping that calm, or at least having good systems. If you don't have a pit crew, those buddies or the AB guys need to be there and be ready to pick up that slack. So.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about running with Ronnie, we had 2 people in our pits that wasn't players. Richard Hansen, he played with us last year. Melissa Niece, she plays with Barbies. The rest of us, we know who was fixing to go back out. Ronnie would tell us who's going to go out before they would even come off the field. So we had a job to do. If we're sending them guys back, we would actually put our packs on and have paint in our packs. We would be voted already. And if Ronnie says, okay, Shaq, you're going in, CP, you're set. We know that all CP done, he just come right around and started filling people's packs. The system we had our players actually was part of the pit crew.
Okay.
We had 1 guy dedicated getting the guns, ironing the guns up. We had 2 people dedicated wiping the hits off, and the other 2 was filling pods. Then we had Richard and Melissa. Richard would run the pods, and when they come back, they'd fill the pods, put them in the boxes. We'd all load our packs back up, and that's how we stayed on top of it. And it worked really good.
It was really cold last weekend. Did you guys do anything special to take care of the paint?
Yeah. I can't thank David enough. David Maston, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Paul's daddy. He brought we've had this one big old huge, we call it the funeral parlor. It's a big old huge, and he brought a smaller tent and he put, he enclosed it. It had 2 heaters. And when we went and got our paint, that's where we kept our paint, within the heat.
Okay.
Right the opposite, of summertime. You
yeah.
Keep it, but we kept it about 60 degrees in there. I mean, he really, he went through the propane. I tell you that. And and it was his idea. He's like, hey, we need to put the heat. And then it triggered on me. I'm like, you're right. That does make sense. Because my mentality was fill it and put it in coolant, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
My mentality wasn't. It was, 20 degrees outside. Paint's going to be brittle. And we put it in there, and that's how we kept it all day. And we only got it when we needed it. We didn't go to the Connex or the paint store and get it after every match. We got it 15 minutes before we went on. We just all bustled and hurried, filled pods. That way we was filling pods of warm paint.
Yeah. Yeah, keeping it warm.
Yeah, and I see people that as soon as our match was over, they go get paint. They're not playing for an hour.
Yeah, you just got to sit there and get cold and brittle.
I would go out there and I'd watch them blow paint. I'm like, they're like, how are you not breaking paint? I said, well, we prepped ours, It's, common sense. But if it wasn't for David, we would have done it.
Well, I don't think a lot of people think about it, especially locally. Like at the NXL, you'll see these huge contraptions, right? But I don't think a lot of people think about it locally, and that can make a big difference if you're A, able to shoot people, and B, it's able to break on them.
We use that to our advantage too. It's cold, and we know that people may not be prepping their paint, and that may be how we got beat by Postal. They may have been prepping their right, but we would take that aggressive bite because we know they're off break shots. They may get us and they may not.
Yeah,
that's a chance we was willing to take.
Mm-hmm.
It worked.
Yeah. If they're breaking every third ball, it's a little easier to run through a stream now. So, and then once that ball hits, it's not going where you're aiming.
But even if you squeeze it don't matter. when you run your swab through it, it still takes 5 or 10 shots to get the oil out. I don't care.
Yeah.
Them things work, about 2 times. Then they're full of paint. They don't work no more. So you just swab, oil through your barrel, and people are like, well, swab the squeegee. Yeah, you stuck a dirty one in.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you've used it, it's kind of dead. You got to grab another one.
On your nose in a handkerchief, stick it back in your,
Yeah.
don't make
It's a little gross. Yeah. That's one thing we used to do was buy new squeegees every event.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I got a good wife. Mine gets washed. She washes mine every time I play. She gets it out of my bag. I don't even have to get it out of my bag anymore. She's like, hey, where's your barrel thingy at? And she makes sure it's washed, but probably need 2 or 3 per event.
Yeah.
That way once one gets dirty, just toss it down, toss it in a bucket of water, and let it dry, and I don't know. So not that we, yeah.
It's definitely one of the,
we're paintball players.
yeah. The squeegee, I think, is one of the most underrated pieces of equipment. You go out, you buy these guns that are thousands of dollars, the tank that's hundreds, the hoppers, which are minimum of 200, and you don't want to spend $15 on the squeegees.
I'm right the opposite on the equipment thing. I got the gun. I done a lot of trading to get my gun. Got a Gen 1 Infamous CS2 from Alex from My 75. He's probably the easiest person I've ever traded guns with. But as far as my hopper, I got like the first Spire ever made.
Okay.
And it works. And the only thing I done was put a new shell on it. Put the one piece the top closes down instead of the back popping off. So Taylor Griggs found the hopper and said, hey, I'm going to make this for you. I said, go for it. I said, just put my internals in it because they ain't broke.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been using that. I'm coming on 5 years, the same internals. And I want to get a new hopper, but
I still have my original rotor, so.
That's alone. I got my original Revy too.
Nice. Yeah.
That I saved forever to get. As soon as it's like I saved for months and months and months to get it. Years it felt like. I finally, and the halo comes out. I finally getting the up and halo comes out.
Yeah. So when you came back in, you had an old, oh my gosh, Angel. What Angel was it?
It was Pre-Fly.
Okay.
It was Pre-Fly. I'm going to say that LCD
one. Nice.
Black with a chain trigger. That one's like a Team Precision gun. Went body on Team Precision, and I actually positive Joel still owns that gun.
Really? That's awesome.
I didn't keep it long. I went back to a shocker. I was a shocker fan.
Okay.
I was a smart sports junkie. I shot a shocker. I would shoot just a semi-automatic shocker in ramping tournaments. And you couldn't tell it. I could shoot a shocker, and I just loved them. And when I actually came back this time, of course, everybody gets to me. I'm not going to say big mistake. That was a good gun. It got me back where I needed to play. But I bought a shocker off Sam.
Okay.
Because like, oh, it's a shocker. It's a shocker. It's what you shot. It's nothing like what I shot back in the day.
No, they're completely different.
Good guns, don't get me wrong. And the first thing I done is I took the freak barrel away and threw it back, got me a boomstick. That's the best thing I ever done for that gun. Old school, power tool. If you make them right, that's with a die boomstick. It's not the titanium, the old school steel one.
Yeah. Yeah. I got an old Steely in the bag too.
Best barrel ever for a shocker. Even today's shocker. It was amazing. And, but I took it apart, going to anodize it because I want to be cool. And I couldn't get it together.
No.
Sent it to Travis Boyd because he could work on guns just before I knew Taylor Griggs.
Mm-hmm.
Sent it to Travis, and Travis sent me a message that says, if you ever take this apart again, I'll beat you to death with it. Well, I'll just trade it. And that's PE. I went to LV 1.6, rated orange, Michelangelo, fell in love with. Wasn't a fan of the shot on it. Then I went over to a CS2 that Josh had. It's like every time I pick that gun up, it'd break down. But I love the shot on that gun. Man, I love this gun. Then we traded it for GO4.
Okay.
Plus cash. I like that, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So I went back to an LB and I shot it for a little while. I'm like, I just don't like it either. I'd been looking on Alex's on I-75 at the different guns. Back when I was growing up, you looked at the, J.C. Penney catalog and, I'd like to have that for Christmas. I'd like to have that. That's what I was doing. I'm like, I'd like to have this. Man, I'd like to have it. And bam, there come that black and orange CS2. I'm like, I messaged Jackson, what do you want for that? He's like, what do you got to trade? I said, I got my LB2. And he said, show it to me at the field Sunday. I'll give you the answer. So come to the field, I showed it to him. He told me what he'd give me for it. Told me, he said, so I need to give you this much cash. He said, yeah. I said, done. I probably won't ever own another gun.
Yeah.
Josh is like, you need to get a CS3, get a CS3. We're all going to get them. They're the best guns. And they are. They are the best guns.
They are good.
You got on the market, but they're not beating the CS2. That CS2 is just unbelievable. And I've shot a lot of CS2 throughout the last, 2 or 3 years, but there's something about this one's just me. I don't have to give to Taylor Greggs the week before the event, and he cleans it, and I play with the event, and I play all the way up to the week before the event. I give it back to him to clean, and I don't touch it because I have. And it works from event to event, and, with no kind of maintenance except that. I mean, I said that gun's a good gun, And I like I said earlier, Barrish has a heck of a program. I play 2 days a week. I play, times I play 3 days. Heck, some people play 4 days.
That's what I've been hearing.
It's just crazy the opportunity Josh has gave us to get better. So the guns, I shoot 4 to 6 cases a weekend through that. And I think I've put over 250,000 shots on it since I've owned it.
Wow.
And yeah. And it literally only gets maintenance the week before the event. In the off season, I'll send it to him. Basically the same like I would if it was an event. Taylor Griggs is probably the best person that's ever worked on my gun. It comes back, I want my trigger one time. How I done that. But it was literally been out.
Wow.
I get it back, it's fixed. Same trigger. He didn't change the trigger. I mean, yeah, he's a great gun tech. I mean, he could probably make a living at it if people know who he was. Just teching gun. I think he teched every BR gun last week for the event. I mean, it was crazy.
It's a lot of guns in a week.
Yeah. He sent me a picture of his back of his truck, and from Hayden had his seat, D had hers, and he had his, and the rest of it was guns and equipment.
Oh my!
Dang, looks like you robbed a store, man.
Yeah, I bet.
That's one thing I give Josh credit for. Josh is one that introduced us all to Taylor. Josh has just done good for Georgia Paintball. I mean, I'll just be honest with you.
Yeah,
it started as 13-year-old punk kid. When I say a punk kid, he was a punk kid. I've known him over half his life. The one he has become today is amazing. I'm very proud of him. Proud of what he's accomplished in the paintball scene. Not just in the paintball scene, in life. He has a beautiful family. It's just a joy to be around his brothers, and his wife Jennifer. Their kids are amazing, and I think it takes an amazing person to make something work. Yeah, he's definitely made it work. I mean, I would like to see it grow even more than it is now. Eventually, I'd like to see it where you had 20 teams per division, every event. It don't matter if you'll win the last event or not, because last event's usually just the top 6.
Yeah.
I would like for it to, have that World Cup feel. Call it the Georgia Cup, where, you have to play that extra day at the last event. If you do it World Cup, that's the biggest event of the year. And it's the last one. Every other league is, the last one you got your top teams to play. I would like to see NGXL at that level. Or, we have at least 15 teams the last event, just because it's a good, fun place to play. And it is, Josh has done everything that we've asked. Brought in XL refs last week. last week we had refs. The week before he gave a NXL clinic, reffing clinic, and the guys that was at the clinic got to ref with the NXL refs this weekend to learn the hands-on, the NXL guys ref. And I mean, I don't know of any other league that uses, besides ICPL and NXL, that uses all in. I'm not just talking about refs. Josh brought in 4 of NXL's head refs for his event, just to ref them.
Yeah, that's definitely rare.
Yeah. He don't want to be NXL, but he wants to be the best. I mean, it's going to be hard to beat the NXL has been around forever. I mean, I remember, pre-NXL days. I remember PSP and,
and PPPL, yeah.
I still catch myself calling it PSP. But I think it could be just as big as MSXL and big as MVPS. Well, I mean, it's not like, we travel. Like, that's the one thing that I don't like about the MSXL is it's so far away.
Yeah.
For me, I live in a little town called Blue Ridge, Georgia. We call it takes a long time to get to anywhere. It's 2 hours to any interstate. I mean, any interstate, north, south, east, and west of us is 2 hours. So, yeah, I live in sticks. I'm a country boy for sure. But I played the Nashville one and the Louisville, and that's as far as I want to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's as fun as it is going around to different places, it's also nice. This is the place I'm going to go play. I can plan it. I can get to know the area a little bit. I can find the good hotels.
And you won't beat it's beautiful here. It's North Georgia. I've been all over the United States. I used to deliver wrestling rings. I've been from East Coast to West Coast. I've been far south as you can go and almost as far north as you can go in the United States. This North Georgia is the prettiest place in the world. It's a place that you can bring your family, even to the events. Josh makes sure there's something for the kids to do.
Yeah, which is great.
Like last week, they had cotton candy. My girl would kill me if she knew that there's cotton candy there and I didn't take it. She would. And it's like that everywhere. It's not just, we're going to come and play paintball. It's somewhere that you be safe to bring your family.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of, hiking trails, nature trails. Emmacola Fall is probably 30 minutes from the field.
Okay. I didn't know that. The start of the AP is right around the corner too, isn't it?
Yep. AP trail goes right. It literally split between one of the houses I built.
Really?
I had one house on one side, one house on the other side, and I'd watch people walk the AP trail.
Pretty awesome.
Yes, that was cool. But yeah, I mean, and in wintertime, come up a day early if you like deer hunting, go hog hunting. I mean, nature. I mean, it's just a good little community area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From Jasper up to Blue Ridge, on over into Copper Hill, where I'm originally from. It's just good old country folk. We'll talk to you off and invite you in for supper type people.
Yeah.
Not everybody's like, yeah, but you'll know a local when you see them when they're like, first thing they say, hungry, thirsty.
Yeah, there's not a lot of that left in the U.S., I feel like. So you mentioned earlier you were superstitious. You got any superstitions around paintball?
Yes, I got a bunch of.
All right, lay them out.
Like I said earlier, CP was using my gun. He was slaying with it. I honestly believe the reason he done so well is because my inner greatness and his inner greatness channeled into the gun, and it just went crazy, stupid good. Not really. Kid's amazing. No, I got my funniest one was back in the day before Sandanas come out, right? I think that's things with the head wraps, right?
Yeah.
Before they come out, well, I ain't gonna say before they come out, before I could afford to buy them,
Mm-hmm.
I just played with the headband because I could buy them at Walmart. I left work one day and I was real sweaty. I went and played. I got shot in the head right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I looked down to get it out. I couldn't see it. Wait a second. I always kept long hair. I'm like, I can't see where that hit. So I tried it the next week, and I didn't wash my hair, and this is disgusting, I know, but I didn't wash my hair all week. I washed the paint out of it that Sunday, but I didn't wash it because I wanted to try something. And I went back and I got shot in my head a bunch. You couldn't see it. My hair would soak. The oil in my hair would blend with the oil.
Okay.
And so I'm like, huh. And back then, you done what you had to get the advantage.
Yep.
I wouldn't wash my hair a week before the event. And I've always carried that on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I don't wash my hair from Tuesday on. What's funny about it now is I wear a head wrap.
So it doesn't matter anymore.
But it's just something that I've done for the first time I played. I've done it, and I still do it. And I feel like another superstition I got is if I go out there and I don't suck the first match, if I go out there and just have a heck of a game, right? I'm going to suck the rest of the day. But if I stupid and get shot to rip, I'm going to have a great day. And so that's probably why I didn't play as much Sunday or Saturday. Well, I had a good match, the first match, had a good point, and I felt that I played strong, and that's probably why I wasn't worried about playing because I know that eventually it would eat it.
Yeah.
That's about it. I gotta have my Mountain Dews.
You gotta have your Mountain Dews.
If I don't have them on tournament days, I just sing. And that's a running joke at the field. Everybody says, "That's all you ever drink." I drink coffee and sweet tea also.
Okay. The Mountain Dew's a must.
Yeah.
All right.
And I always pray. I always
Okay.
pray. I always pray for the event. I go off by myself. Not a lot of people know that. Pray for the Lord, watch over the team, watch over everybody there. I feel that that's important. I wish it was like I was raised religious, and I remember praying before baseball games, basketball games. I remember when the chaplain would come over, the microphone would say, "All your heads." I wish sports would get back to that. I guess that's why I do it. Nobody needs to see me do it. And I don't think anybody's ever seen me do it. I usually go off in the woods and do it. But I always pray for the people, pray for the event. If I don't, something always happens. Like one event I didn't do it at Huntsville, Alabama. Showed up late, ran to the field, played all day, and my grandmother died that day. And I took that to heart, like maybe I should have prayed and should have lasted another day. So from that day on, I've never missed it. I prayed every one of them. I got a lot of superstitions.
I dig it.
Not just in paintball even. I got superstitions and bowl rituals I have to do in the mornings.
What's the plan for the team? Is it just NGXLs? You guys doing World Cup? That you playing some of the MXSLs?
Yeah. Well, I'm also playing with the D4 line.
Okay.
But the guys are wanting to play World Cup, and if they win this series, it'll be hard for me not to play with them at World Cup. But it's also going to be hard for me. The guys Josh got this year from the D4 national line are a great group of guys. They've helped me probably more than anybody this year, other than, the semi-pro guys, Blaine and Tanner and Wes. Yeah, that's the one I talk to the most.
Okay.
They probably gave me more confidence this year than I've ever had, before guys. So, it'll be a toss up. It'll be something I have to pray about.
See how good the D4 line does.
Telling you, the semi-pro guys, they stack the cards high this was. We got something we got to. There's, the first team to ever. I've been around this sport since the 90s, and I've never, even the Ironman Dynasty, I've never known of any team that the first year they was together, right? This first year they was together, they got together in January last year, right? They podium every event. I've never heard that for a team that's been together 1 year. And
I don't know.
To set the bar for us,
if anyone just did that nationally.
I've never heard of it.
Maybe Aftermath, but I don't know if they got together. I feel like one of the Aftermath semi-pro lines might have been created and done it before. but that's the only one I can think of.
Yes, I don't remember when Aftermath come out. I'll just be honest. I just started watching one day and that was Aftermath. I mean,
Yeah.
that's right when I started taking the break. I'm like, who's Aftermath? I just know them as the red jersey guy. But for them to do that was a feat, and in my eyes, we've got to carry that on. And I know it's a lot of pressure on Josh, but I know Josh feels the same way. We was, just a simple, 5-man team down in Cup, and they come up to us and said, "Oh man, you're by Ridge, the real by Ridge." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm by Ridge," and that's because of the semi-pro guys. They represented us well. Now we got to represent them well, and hopefully we do.
Nice. Well, we're over an hour here, which is where I about keep them. But we'll definitely check in with you over the course of the season, Shaggy. You want to shout out the sponsors real quick?
Who do we got, Josh?
Sweet Carbon.
Huh?
Team Sports Promotions.
Come here, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Malkin?
Carbon. 23.
23?
TJ Sports Promotions.
Which was that?
TJ Sports Promotions.
TJ Sports Promotions?
That's good. That's good.
And that's good.
All right.
I told you I just show up and play. Luckily, Josh
Nah,
asked that, so. Josh will let me use his computer too, by the way.
I'm glad we got you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Planet Paintball podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Whether you're out there grinding in the divisional pits or chasing dreams on the pro stage, remember, it's all about the passion, the hustle, and the love for the sport. Shout out to 1023 Sportswear for sponsoring the show. Don't forget to use code Planet Paintball at checkout for 20% off your order. Gear up, save big. Until next time, keep grinding, keep growing, and we'll see you back here on the Planet Paintball podcast